think
where
you're
you're
fine.
at.
You're right there. You got that. I'm good. I'm good.
You good? You happy? Are you happy, Clem? It looks kind of far away.
It's right next to the big rock.
All right. It's all you, Dan.
Roger. Keep an eye on Atalanta there. We're moving back to the west, so. Okay, Jacob, we can go tight.
Yep, moving back in.
You're going to get spoiled with that upper camera.
Just say when.
Yeah, if you could go for the
That's
rock
good.
it's growing on, that would be even better.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do the super slows with the, if we do the super slows with these buttons.
Oop. Ah, dang it.
That's good there.
All right.
And that's perfect there. Did you get your beauty shot? I'm assuming you did. I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the Atalanta here.
It's okay.
I'm going to come down just a bit. Maybe that'll stop your wiggling.
My wiggling?
Yeah, Eric's tail's wiggling back and forth. Probably because the boat's moving.
You want it more stable?
Yeah,
Please
please.
drive down harder.
Yeah, give her
All
some
good?
more beans, Robert. I'll pick them
Yeah.
up here.
It's good.
Go
Can you
wide,
hear?
Jacob?
Phone wipe.
That's good. You can hold this in.
Is that enough beans? I mean,
Yeah.
cycle out ahead.
Okay, you can push in there, please. Push in a bit, Jacob. And you'll have to give me a close-up of the rock again.
You want to zoom in some more?
Zooming in.
Yeah, push in means zoom in. That's good, that's good. Hold it. I'm going to push you around a little, Robert.
Yeah,
Don't panic.
it's all right.
Negative on the rock pad. It's
Yeah.
doesn't appear to be moving. I'm putting, you can see me putting quite a bit of jam on it there with
Yeah,
the
okay.
manipulator.
Or to tell if it's
Oh, yeah.
separate or
Yeah, it's
It
just
looks like a
attached to-
small pebble, but
yeah,
the
guess it just
tip
sticks
of the
out.
iceberg there.
attached to the rest of the reef.
So you want to snip down low as possible again?
Yeah.
Roger. Think this thing will go up the tube or get clogged?
it's pretty wide, huh?
Well, but it'll
Yeah.
Scloonch down.
Yeah, it would go up the tube.
Yeah. If we clog it, that's game over for the rest of the day.
That's not gonna clog it.
No.
It's not that stiff.
Okay.
Y'all want us to
Yeah, it's already closing up. It looks like that'd be fine.
Yeah.
push in there, Jacob? Zoom in.
On low section.
in.
Yeah, leave.
Okay, hold that for a second. Y'all have the option of putting this into our suction sampler into one of the jars or putting it in one of the boxes on the starboard side.
Yeah, I don't know how worried you are, Lori, about the little feathers breaking off. If you'd
I
like.
think that's fairly critical. It'd
Okay.
be better in the box.
Roger.
So,
Yeah.
okay, well, but it might blow around over there unless we kill some thrustage.
Yeah, find something else to look at, Robert, while I put this thing in the box.
It is, yes.
Can you
Stocked
zoom back
crinoid.
out?
Sample 003.
You want to switch over to sample mode?
No.
Right.
All that does is then I have to
Do
redo all
you
that.
want to kill the thruster over there?
Yeah, but let me get in the neighborhood first.
Relay isolation. Thrusters.
What you can do is just go dead stick and float up for a minute. Let me just
Yeah.
get ready here. You can open the box when you're ready. I'll turn on the light.
So you can see now
That's
they're bringing it around the corner,
Good.
putting
No, I
it
need
into
a
one of the
small box,
starboard
sorry.
boxes.
Yeah. You,
What am I thinking?
you go in the back there.
I'm going for D, low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
It's the easiest one to get. So leave the hard ones for the A-team. Am I in there? I can't quite see it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Looks
letting
like it.
go. Are you
Yeah.
you're dead stick?
Do you want to go to sample mode to see it
No,
better?
no,
No.
I don't need to see. Are you dead stick?
I'm dead stick.
Okay,
I'm not
let it
doing
go.
nothing.
I don't need to see. I got your eyes over there. Okay, close the box.
Like musical chairs up front there. You guys are constantly switching who's got the arm.
All right, I'm taking control again.
Roger, thank you. I like the dead stick technique because the laterals kick in and that kills me as well.
Yeah.
We've got a question from our viewer about marine snow. Pat, do you want to talk a little bit about the productivity in this water?
Marine snow. You mean like the little particles in the water?
Yeah.
You kind of drifted a bit there. Come back.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, well, marine snow, as far as I know, it's organics that form up in relatively shallow water, but then sink into the deeper ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly, bacteria, stuff like that growing on
See if I can find you on that
small
one.
bits of organic matter. Some people
Not
call it
getting over there very
marine
quickly.
snot, but
You'll have to turn it.
not a nice term for it. It is,
Right.
it's something that's very
Coming at
important
you.
in terms of
Roger.
transferring energy to the deep sea from the shallows. And there's a actually it sounds
Rather
facetious,
blustery
but
down there, is it?
there's a need for people to study marine snow because it is important in the ocean, but it's not very exotic, not very exciting to most people.
No, not that many people
No.
studying snow and sediment traps and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? You've been on an ONC cruise? We must put out hundreds of sediment traps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're looking at the bent animals coming down into them, not dead plankton.
All right. You happy with that, Dan?
Yeah, ecstatic. Are you happy?
I'm thrilled.
Look, all our ducks
Right.
are in a row again.
Are we on the march again? I'm ready.
Yeah.
Can we turn on
Yep.
EK80 for recording mode?
That will be a Rachel downstairs question, I think.
Oh, look at this guy
Um,
thing. Can we zoom in?
It looks like a myctophid lanternfish, isn't it?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's a myctophid.
Technicolor.
The most.
That's
the
the
most-
first one we've seen on, we haven't seen any of those to my knowledge on the
Can you
cruise
zoom back out? I
expeditions.
lost
Coming out.
track of it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, great. One of the most common fishes in the world. The whole family.
Yeah.
And, they're mesopelagic, midwater, pelagic, deep ocean, 1,000-meter-ish. Great.
All right. Zoom up.
That fish was like a mermaid. It took you back up to the north again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Follow
Someone
me.
in the back.
A lot of those, will actually migrate up shallow at night. It's what's called the deep scattering layer. They're a part
We're
of
gonna
that
Turn again.
that comes up into the shallows, which are richer feeding. I've been, you know, like in the dark of night out in the tropical ocean and with McTophids all around us snorkeling out in the open water.
How
Bizarre.
deep do they go, Pat?
Oh, 1,000 meters or more. Yeah, they're you know, mid-pelagic or mid-water pelagic. At least 1,000 meters. They you know, can migrate quite a distance every night.
You get a sense of the, someone is asking about the bathymetry there. So now that Robert's turned his head in, he's painted part of the bathymetry with the Norbit, and you get a sense of how steep it is there up to the right side of Hercules.
Oh yeah.
On the heads-up display.
Let's see, we're at 650 meters at the moment.
Turning back on course.
It's one of the techniques we've done with Norbit. We come up maybe 10, 20 meters and we just do a slow 360 and we'll paint a picture of the bathymetry around us in pretty decent detail, out at least 50 meters aside, depending on how high we come up. Speaking of coming up, I'm coming up 5.
It's definitely steeper here.
Yeah, you get a lot of coarser grained sediment coming down the slope. So you can do sampling of coarse sediment like that we're seeing here?
Like suck it up, or
Well, you either suck it up, or I know you.
We don't have a net.
You don't have nets.
Board.
I saw nets.
I mean, we have nets, but not with us.
Yeah. Yeah, we could suck it up. Not right here, but maybe a little later. Actually, well, maybe we should suck it up. That stuff up at the top, you see,
Yeah.
really dense and coarse. Yeah, that stuff up there. Yeah, let's
You
suck
want to
up
stop?
Yeah, let's get a suck up a sample
Okay.
of that. You know, the thing I'm wondering, there's you know, stuff up in the shallows that you know, it dies and then it rolls down the hill. It's they're skeletons, and I mean,
What jar we want here?
I'll sort it out while you find a place to land there.
All right.
If I can find the button. It's gonna come around to the flush jar.
What's this right here?
ooh,
Can we
Ooh, a
zoom in? Is that a
sponge. It's a
shell?
sponge.
No.
Sponge.
Yeah.
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 Well, you can see that sediment detail, a lot of shell, all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. That'd be fantastic to get a sample of that.
I'm gonna push the porch up
Okay.
just a little. Robert.
Yeah.
That's a lovely view of that sponge too.
Okay, you can land and get stable, Mabel.
All right. We zoom back out.
Going out.
Just
Yeah, so you think you'll be able to identify from the rubble what some
Sure,
of-
yeah, a lot of mollusk shells, you know.
so like right in there where the lasers are.
Where the suction is right now. Sorry.
Oh, you just want to suck it right there?
Yeah, try it. Yeah, I mean,
I'll pick it up, otherwise we'll clog it.
yeah. We don't want to clog the system, but you know, the coarser the better in terms of what your
Yeah.
system will handle.
Okay.
I'll wait till you get stable there.
Is this going in one, Dan?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a great area there, though. The arrow's showing.
Okay.
You happy?
I'm
Yeah.
happy. Are you
Uh-huh.
happy?
I'm not happy with Atalanta, but I can live with it. Okay, go tight on the push in there for us.
And we're at
Thank you, Jacob.
646 meters.
Zoom in.
Apologies, didn't hear you.
I think he was wanting the stuff around the bottom of the... You want this around the bottom
I
of
think
the
he's
animal?
just
sorry,
tucking the whole
no, we're-
pile off to the
Yeah, it's to
right
the
under
right.
the arm.
Yeah, not next to the sponge.
Roger. This stuff up here?
Yeah.
Okay, zoom in tight there on the end of the nozzle, please. Tilt up, Robert.
I mean, it'll be interesting, even if that's calcium carbonate material that's come down the slope from above, where things might be.
There's a lot of
Calcifying.
shell hash there.
Yeah, that would be great. A lot of shells can be identified from this kind of material.
Okay, here we go. It went. I can go deeper or stay along the top, whatever you want.
Probably along the top would be a bit better.
Roger.
Like pistachio shells.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice mother lode there.
Mother load.
I don't see any gold nuggets, so I think this is kind of futile. Yeah.
It's gold to somebody, worth
It
way more
is.
than gold.
Yeah. A few malacologists that would go wild for that stuff.
See anything else you want, Pat? Just put a little circle on the screen there.
Yeah. Just kind of, hit the surface layer there where it's really coarse. Any of those areas.
Roger.
I don't know what you think is how much you can get in your jar.
You
You can see
yeah.
the jar there on the bottom right, what it's got so
Oh
far.
yeah, okay, so it's got a bit more area, volume.
Yeah.
Sure, let's go for it.
Fill her up.
There'll be all kinds of stuff in there. You got foraminifera shells, test, mollusk shells.
What's all the sticks? Those tube worms, or what are those?
I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Tilt down a little for
We'll
you,
see.
Robert. What do I want? There's another load too.
Yeah.
You happy with that stuff there?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you could, take the water samples bits and contain to that and do eDNA on them if you wanted. We don't do that, but
I'm just going to let that go for a second, see what's happening with our jar. Still coming in, right?
oh yeah, it's yeah. Sorry.
I can get more. I just wanted to.
There's some, definite shells there. You got that way. Kind of off the subject, but years ago I worked with some guys, the guy in Curacao in the Caribbean that has a submersible, the Curasub, and we would go long several hundred feet, 250
Still
meters,
coming in the jar, okay, Robert?
and he would look for beer bottles, of which there was no shortage.
I would be a little concerned it might be hanging up somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see new stuff coming into there.
Yeah, that's
Well,
probably plenty.
Yeah.
Give us a sec here. We have a technique
Yeah, I think
here.
you need to shake it and
Yeah.
Yeah.
move the
Anyway,
loot through the system there.
Roger.
but yeah, I'll tell you the beer bottle story. So he would pick up beer bottles and bring them up, and they would be full of really small but very rare shells.
Ooh.
And he he did commercial shell collecting,
You
but
wanna
I was just amazed
it?
that
No,
shells
I
would
got it
get
here.
into these
I
beer
got this
bottles
way better than bubble.
and
Oops.
die, and then they
You
just
got
keep
that button, too.
accumulating. The
Wow.
shell trap.
Well, but
So-
you can't see back into the inner workings.
Yeah, but I can see the loop here.
If we see a beer bottle, could we pick it up?
Yeah, it might be precious stuff in there.
There'll be,
We're
new
just collecting,
species,
we're
maybe.
just cleaning up the trash, really.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what they call micro mollusks. These little things, and they're actually, many of the newer mollusk species are coming from. They're micro mollusks. They're just half an inch,
There's
an
a
inch
bunch
long,
coming in right
full
there.
grown. So yeah,
I
that's
just
great.
turned
You
it
can
off,
see.
So that's just falling down.
Okay.
Great
That's all.
stuff
I
in
think
there.
what's happening, people, is you see in
Clogged
the
the
jar there
filter.
the sediment falling off the filter.
Yeah.
So one of our techniques is to do this. We'll just rotate that one,
Yeah.
and then we'll rotate back, and boom, that should knock some of it down. But the media in there, I think is, what is that, Robert?
Yeah.
1 micron or 1 millimeter? So
Yeah,
Leela should know
it's
that.
not.
It's bigger than 1 millimeter. I think it's closer to like 3 or 4, right?
But you got probably, I don't know, ½ inch there in the bottom of the jar.
Yeah, that's a great sample.
Yeah, I think we ought to go to the flush jar and just let it rip for a while.
Yeah, I can do that while you're moving on.
All right, you good?
Yep.
Some
Porch.
malacologists could
Suck the
spend
porch in.
You zoom
Some-
back out.
some malacologists could spend their entire career
Water column.
studying that sample
And your
you
camera's
just
gonna
sucked
be
up.
really fast if you move it right now.
That's amazing.
Here, I'll slow it down and you can center your camera up.
So what will you do with the sample,
Okay.
Pat?
Well, we don't
Happy
do
there?
anything. We can't. We don't keep
Alright.
the samples
And then
ourselves.
go back to
We'll look
feeds
at it,
and,
see what, if
You want to go to
it's
flush
got
jar?
good stuff in, and then it'll go off to the MCZ.
Okay.
I'll just
Gotcha.
give it full beans here
They
for
can
a second.
they farm it out from there.
And I'll go to flush jar. This button.
You know, I don't know if people would normally collect that sort of thing using ROVs or subs.
Ooh, a lot in the flush there. My lord.
What's that?
Well, that can
See that thing in
be
the...
part 2 of the symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens is the media gets clogged up, and that affects the ability of the pump to suck water through the system. And
Yeah.
I could have gone to a fresh jar there, but
So that, just getting back to the sediment sample, you just take that and put it in a jar and put in alcohol.
Quick switch happening video.
That's all we have to do, and then somebody sorts it out later on.
Dang it.
yeah, give me a sec, I'll give it to you. You good? Okay.
Oh, see that up in the upper right hand, there's a little,
The rat tails?
never mind, just go on. It's,
What is it?
there's something that I thought it was something, it wasn't what I was thinking it was,
Oh,
for
You
what
got a
that
little
means.
junk on your port still there.
yeah.
They're probably mollusk cracks. Yeah. Hermit crabs?
Dave's back in video.
No, probably hermit crabs mostly.
Dave's back in the house.
Did we want to zoom on it, or?
No.
No.
All right, moving on.
How far have we gone so far on this dive?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same.
10 feet.
About that, yeah.
You have a,
What,
there's a very interesting feature on your right there, Robert, and that looks,
Actually, what's this right here? When we zoom in?
Lynette, what was that number of how far we've gone?
About 210 meters.
Is that a sea
That's
cucumber?
interesting.
What is that?
There's a,
Oh, it's a
leaf.
leaf.
It's a leaf.
Is it a leaf?
it's like a mangrove leaf.
I was
yeah.
looking at the thing on the right, the other thing.
we've seen quite a bit of leaves
All right.
and wood on the last few expeditions. So
Yeah.
just to your right, Robert, about 10 meters away is what appears to be a pretty significant target. And you can see it's
Oh, yeah.
being blocked in orbit, and yeah, you see it now. You might want to investigate before we move.
All right, we zoom out.
We'll have to-
We're out.
Yeah, I remember looking at some of your, the dives in the last 2 expeditions. It looked like you had, there were dead seagrass blades out far at sea, 20, 30 miles out where you guys were diving down
Yeah,
on the bottom. And, it's one of these things where you have an
Can you see
export of
anything in the
energy
Atalanta view?
from inshore shallow waters, and it's helping to support, deep sea organisms. Amazing how things are connected.
all squared up. I'll look to the east of that Atalanta now, but it's in the dark.
Any more beans here?
Orbit sees it off to your right a bit. It's just, it's a weird shadow and I run a sonar too, and I was seeing it in orbit. Wasn't quite sure what it was. Might be a seabed feature. You see those off to the right there in orbit?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was painting. Maybe just because you were down low, it was local something. Definitely saw it in Herc's sonar too. Weird. That wasn't as high as I was.
No. All right, moving on.
Roger.
You ready for a ship move?
I'm ready.
Okay. Bridge nav. meters, 085, please. Thank you.
I'm really glad we got that sample of the coarse sediment. There's just so much of it coming down the slope here. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what it's made up of. Beautiful.
Looks like it's about 60 meters off to your right. Too far to get to.
All that jumbly bit there.
Yeah. Orbit looks out 50 to 75 at this altitude.
Pat, for folks who are just starting to tune in, can you give us just a little bit of context about why and how this area is a big interest for study and how much research and studying has been done here before?
Sure. Yeah. This feature that we're working on now. We're on the western barrier reef of Palau on the outside slope, and generally these outside barrier reefs. You've got a shallow reef, and then it goes down fairly steeply into deep water, and down into depths of thousands of meters within a few kilometers of the reef top. But this feature we're diving on now, it's actually there isn't anything like it in Palau. Wow, it's a ridge which sticks out at a corner of the reef we call Shark City. Shark City is a real, very popular dive site for tourists, and it's also a very good fishing spot. But this ridge extends out about 2 kilometers from the shallow reef. It goes down to a depth of 180 meters, which is about 600 feet, and it's basically a ridge. It's the same depth all the way out for about 2 kilometers, over a mile offshore. And then it ends.
Can make that one faster if you want, Robert.
There's nothing, there's
right.
no ridge like this elsewhere in Palau, and so it slopes off on either side, but there's no shallow reef up there. It goes up to 180 meters and it drops off again on the other side, so that you don't have all the shallow water corals and other organisms, algae that make sediments and such. And so it's has very little sediment migrating down the slope over time. And so it's, it theoretically would have a lot of unusual organisms that might not occur along most of the outer reef slopes.
Another one of those decorator crabs?
So that's one of the reasons we're interested in it. And up at the top on this 180 meter deep ridge, years ago we did a quick ROV dive, and there's what we like to call a cool water coral community up there. it's not tropical. The water is generally about 10 to 12 degrees centigrade, which is roughly 50, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And these little small corals, what we call ahermatypic or non-reef building corals, are found up on top of this ridge. There are lots and lots of gorgonians, other strange little creatures, and it's basically a very unique habitat, not well known in the tropical Pacific, and it's just really exciting to investigate what might be living on it and the conditions they're tolerating. So hopefully by the end of the dive here in a few hours, we'll be up on top of the ridge. That's sort of the cherry on the ice cream sundae, but this is great what we're seeing down here. But we do want to get up to the top and see what's growing up there. I think it'll be quite amazing when we get up in that area. So that's why it's a particular interest to us. It's all about ocean discovery, exploration, and this is it in action.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. There's no other spot like this in Palau, and it's so different.
Well, Palau is based on a volcanic ridge, the Palau Kyushu Ridge, which runs actually 2,500 kilometers from southern part of Palau up to Kyushu Island in Japan.
Can we zoom in again?
And it's volcanic. It's been inactive for millions of years, but it is this ridge, and only a few places does it come up shallow enough to either have coral reefs or to form islands, and Palau is the major feature on the Palau Kyushu Ridge, and it has, of course, terrestrial islands.
Thanks
and,
for that, Bob.
Has volcanic islands, volcanic rock, no volcanoes, but this ridge sticking out at a depth of 180 meters is just
Starboard.
very, very strange.
Valpac. That's where your Zeus camera is.
That's a sea pen, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Maybe pentatulid.
So hopefully, viewers can stick around for a few hours. And
so are we good on this?
Yeah, we're good on this.
Okay.
you're going to see some interesting things, I'm sure.
So what general speed are we moving at right now?
If you picture my grandma with her
There's
walker
that,
walking from her car into
She's
Walmart.
already 3
There's
blocks
a
ahead of it.
She's 3 blocks ahead of us.
There's that sponge we collected, just went by on the right.
Yep.
Stalked white sponge with zoanthids. It's 630 meters. That's the shallowest we've seen it before, but we're going up shallower.
The vessel is moving at about 10 meters a minute when we're moving, and we've been moving, stopping.
Yep.
So, and Nautilus is about 10 meters wide just for a scope, so if you took a minute to walk from the starboard rail to the port rail, that's the speed the vessel's moving.
Thank you, Dan.
The nice sideroid urchin.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to get one of those, right, Lori? See there? That urchin? Bottom, center?
We wanted to collect one?
No,
Okay,
Lori's saying no.
Okay, you want to pass on that? Okay.
Okay.
There's another blade of something.
Looks like a palm frond
Yeah.
or something like that. Again, stuff in the surface falls into the deep sea and eventually becomes food for something.
You want to zoom on this?
Look at all that
Can you zoom
coarse sediment up on top of the image.
There's
That's a
Black coral.
primnoid. It doesn't look like a primnoid.
I think it looks, if we
Oh,
zoom out the
wait.
polyps,
There's looks like a lithistid sponge there. That's white thing on the left of the view. Yeah, that is we should, you want to collect that? Yeah, we want to get that. That's if it's what we think it is, it's
Can you zoom out again?
it's called a stony sponge. It's a sponge, but it's like a piece of rock.
I'm gonna pick
And
the
it's
minute
a
up just
very,
to get
very
Robert's
interesting.
stuff on the map.
Let's see, we haven't, we only had the one sponge so far.
Yep, you're right. I didn't take that one off. One sponge. I have only
So
one
these,
bacteria.
Stony sponges are interesting. They get up in the relatively shallow water. You're talking 50, 60 meters, but they live in caves and out of the light.
They're gonna have to come closer.
And they don't like light
Pretty
very
high.
much, and then they go down fairly deep.
If you put it right in
But
front of the
they're,
porch, it'd be great.
They have a
Maybe
lot
nudge
of what we
nudge
call
up against the
bioactive
rock.
compounds, things that are potentially usable as drugs for marine organisms. They have a biological action, so that people that have been collecting these for
Oh, so down
pharmaceutical
for you,
research, they've always been a target group to really focus on.
Beauty.
Is that good right there?
Whenever you're happy.
I'm happy. You happy? You're the one picking it
And
up.
So-
we'll get a when the vehicle stops moving, we'll get a zoom in.
The last
Maybe show
cruise, we saw some of these, and we asked for you guys to pick one up. And it turned out it wasn't what we thought it was. It was another type
Okay.
of sponge.
There you
I-
go.
But this is
Good.
like, if you can
Go ahead,
imagine,
Jake, rotate. I've
You
got
know, if you
really
know what-
spoiled with that button you have on top of the joystick, by the way.
what hardtack
You got what
is.
about it?
That
Oh,
This
you
is
like
the
it?
hard, the
Oh,
hard
yeah, I
tack
like
of
it.
sponges is like it's very, very hard, but it like will break like a really.
So if you use the
like a
buttons when
cookie.
you zoomed in, you can
So
make that
we'll
thing
know when we grab it with
creep.
the manipulator whether it's
Okay,
what we're
what you
thinking
want.
it is or not.
Sorry, say again, Pat?
I say this is a very hard sponge. They're more like a hard cookie, so that they're hard, but you can crush it and it'll crumble.
Roger, switching
Nice
to
little, that's a nice little shrimp underneath it there.
switching
beauty.
to hard cookie sponge mode on
Yeah.
our grip force here.
Yeah, so are we...
Yeah, so collection mode then, are you, I guess, a grab? Are you worried that's too delicate?
Grab, yeah.
I don't know how else we would, so.
No, you'll have to.
and
Okay.
You
the
can
starboard
probably
box,
knock it
or-
loose too, but if you
Uh-huh.
just grab it, and don't crush it, just
a
get
gentle.
a good firm grip on it. I think, and just move your manip a little bit.
You
It
wanna
should
zoom
pop
out
it loose.
some?
No, you're good. You want the whole animal again?
Yeah. It will probably break off at the base.
The
Again,
other-
it's one of these things, the sclerites and the spicules that are used to identify
it.
them
I-
vary
your
from top
buttons
to
are too
bottom,
fast
so
to zoom in. You gotta use these now.
a piece up at the upper lip is not
Oop,
really
that one's too
definitive.
fast.
What did you say the classification of this sponge was?
It's called a stony
I gotta
sponge.
fix that.
Okay.
They're,
Yeah, it's a lithistid sponge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's
If-
another word
if
for
that's what
stone.
it is.
Yeah. Like a lithograph is a print made from
Yep.
a hard stone.
So it's lithistid is what you
Yeah,
call
so
this
lithic.
lithic. Yeah,
Yeah.
lithosphere.
Stone Age, Paleolithic,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah.
The other technique we can do is we can use the slurp, and if it's friable, it will just break a few pieces off, and they'll go in the jar if you're worried about it
More
shattering.
more interested in the whole
So I think they're
shebang.
hoping it will pop off a little if you
Yeah,
give it a
it will
tap
probably pop loose if you just touch it.
and then a light grasp.
How's the Atalanta doing? We all good?
You got plenty of altitude.
Roger. I'm gonna play with these buttons here for a second. Give me a second. See how slow it's moving now? It pulls in. You get them dialed in for the water depth. You can use the buttons in the proportional. Jake's buttons are hard-coded for a valve command, so at the moment they don't yet adjust. The Rev 2 is gonna, the buttons will reflect what the value is there.
What the GUI's doing.
Yeah, right now it's
It's
not.
not,
So
Not huge, is
If
it?
you go to GUI.
That's good.
Not huge.
That's good. Some of these, some of the species get like 2 meters across. They're massive, but that's the perfect size.
So you got to keep playing with them with the water depth changes. They're still oscillating a bit, but I think I'm good. See what happens here. So you think it'll pop off the rock, right?
Yep. Well,
If it is what they think it is.
yeah.
All right,
It'll come off one way, no matter what it is, but I think it'll just kind of, you know, pop as one piece.
these jaws are pressure controlled,
Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
keep going. But
This is the tension.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Yep.
see there?
Yep.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
yeah, sometimes
That's great. No, that's perfect. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Oh no, that's not
slurp.
beautiful.
Let me slurp the fragments.
Want to zoom wide?
At least we know, you know, if you don't pick it up
There it
anymore,
is.
well, there's some, we know it's a lithistid just the way it broke. So, but if you can get a piece of that, then you don't, you know, have to get,
Where to
You
go?
or
can
suck them
get
up.
it.
I don't know if it's suckable.
I
the
can
size.
pick
Pick it up.
I can pick them up again.
Okay.
You want to zoom in again?
Zooming in.
Are you pushing buttons or am I
I'm pushing buttons. Just you do your manipulating.
Well, I can't manipulate while the camera's moving. So
All right. There you go.
if the camera, I don't know if the camera's moving or the manipulator's moving. What I was trying to do is get the jaws to hold themselves here, but
Yep.
they tend to drift open or close.
Where's this going?
I guess
Front.
front, yeah, to
Yeah,
not
you can put it in with
lose it.
other stuff. It's,
Okay, Jacob,
Right.
go zoom
Hold
out
on.
a bit. That's good. Good.
Data, is this 005?
Yes, it is
Thank you.
005.
Push back
Are
in
you
on the
doing
coral there.
everything over there? Or what are you
Back in.
doing?
You can zoom back in, please.
Yep, roger.
Zoom in on the coral, Robert. I'll put it in the box. There's something.
Wait, oh, you're going starboard box?
Yeah. And
Oh, I
if
thought they wanted it in the front.
you can do it in the front.
you want to mix it with the
Yeah,
other
we're
stuff?
not worried about it. Yeah, it
All right.
won't dissolve or anything.
All right, zoom back out.
Oh,
In that case,
It'll drop like a rock when you open the jaw.
yeah, I figured that out after the first time. Show me the top of the box then. Do you care what side it's in there?
No, I don't think so.
You'll have to rack back, obviously.
I'm fully retracted.
Roger.
You want box open?
Yep, ready for box open. Thank you.
We don't want nobody jump out of there.
Let me turn down the pressure a little. Okay, try it now. And
It's all right.
sorry
Good.
to say again, you don't care what side?
Nope, either side.
Maybe on the non-sponge side,
Yeah.
to not mix spicules, we do omega.
No, it's not a problem.
You don't care?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I don't know what side the
They don't
non-sponge
care.
side.
No,
Okay.
those are, they don't really shed spicules. They're all like bound. That's what makes it so hard. All the spicules are bound together. So, yeah, not a problem.
Open the box.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Robert. Sorry, I thought it was going in the starboard box. I was going to look at the coral while I was swinging around. Craft is disabled.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, that was at 630 meters.
Okay, we're back on the.
Okay, you ready for a ship move? Bridge, nav. Can we have 30 meters 080? Thank you.
Yes. Again, look at all that coarse debris.
Yeah.
Great.
Coming up.
Yeah. The speed bumps.
Yeah.
Seeing crinoids, some kind of a, looks actually branching coral.
You want to look at it?
No, I'm just calling things out. I'll let Pat and Lori decide what to zoom
No,
out.
let's keep going. I think
Some spider web down there.
it is.
I Do you know what those are? I've seen those all over the place and never been quite sure what that
Well,
is.
not sure about that. There are things that put out mucus nets. The one in shallow water that's most common are what's called vermeted mollusks. There are tube mollusks
You
that
want to zoom in here?
puts out a big mucus net and food falls on it and
Hey,
it sucks
we
it in.
Zoom in?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. The purple.
Another Victor Gorgia.
Yeah, that's good. We don't.
We don't care about Victor.
Nah, we could. I mean, it's great. Another record, 620 meters. But
Oh, we do have a
but
cute
yeah,
Anthomastus
just
mushroom
to the
coral.
right, there's a like a ball with polyps sticking out of it.
Yeah, that's a mushroom, right?
Mushroom coral.
No, it's actually a soft coral, I think, if it's what we think it is. I mean, it's kind of across the current. I don't know how.
You're light years away.
I'm getting over there.
Upper cap.
I can tell.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's a good one, right?
You don't
We'd
think
love to collect that one.
Anthomastus?
Hmm?
The Anthomastus?
Something
Mushroom,
like that.
Mushroom coral?
Yeah, they're a little peduncle and
You want to collect this?
yes.
Bridge, nav.
That
We
was
hold
gonna be
position, please.
A
Thank you.
floater.
All right, can you zoom back out?
Going
I
out.
can set up here.
Can you park on the rock, Robert?
Do you want to be like right up on it? Or are you going to reach out?
I don't know. How high you think it is?
That's not
There's
that high.
one of those mucus nets
I
up
can
there
tell you
on
actually
top
I'm
of
gonna
the
do
screen.
this.
See it there?
Oh yeah. That's cinema cam, so
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great.
I could deal with that.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
So that I'm not very stable here though.
You'll have to put a toe out somewhere. Or park on the rock.
You might, Laura, you have an opinion about sucking that up versus grabbing it?
Too
pretty
big
up
for a
close
suck, probably,
person.
right?
If
It's
they
like
wanna-
10
Suck it up.
centimeters.
If they want to suck it up,
We
you'll
might
have to-
try sucking. It's going to be it's very, you know, it'll float away really easily.
You'll have to come up.
So
and
if you could
park
suck
the
it up,
porch
it's,
on the rock.
Right
it's
up
soft
there?
too, and I
All
think
right.
it'll probably pop it right off the rock. And
I'm going to porch out a bit for you.
Yeah, there you go. Porch out.
Porching out. And I'll, no, you can tilt down. You got the button
That's
power.
all.
That's
It's pretty pokey. Pretty pokey. There's side current to it too. Well, that's not
Yeah.
great.
no. You want me to porch in just a little, or are you happy out there?
I don't know. Let's see.
I'm going to pull it in just a little. Oh, that works.
That's great. It's fabulous.
Look at that porch parking job by Robert. That's where your top button comes in handy on your joystick.
That requires me to remember it's there though.
It took me a while. I went both buttons for at least the first half of the expedition. Okay, you happy?
yes, yeah,
Let's
sorry.
zoom in and get a beauty shot
Thank
while I
you.
get my weapon out here and change jars and all that happy stuff.
These always look so big, and then once you collect them
Yeah.
in the lab, you're like, oh, you're
Oh, that's
so
lovely.
cute and small.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So if you want to count the tentacles, it should have 8 tentacles. It's an octocoral.
Okay, I'm gonna turn your camera hydraulics way hot, Robert, on this blast suction again. That looks good. Okay, I'm gonna go to jar number 2. Grip force suction. And I'm going to turn the suction down to about 75 so I don't steal all your flow.
The tiniest little ophiurite in there.
So that's the size of the ball and that's the size of the nozzle. Think it'll go through? I didn't hear a reply.
I think it's
but-
a 50-50 chance.
Okay, you happy to try it?
Sure.
Here we go.
But if it gets clogged,
I'm surprised it's not. Usually they
Yeah.
suck in their
Retracting,
polyps
yeah. Kind
when you
of,
do this.
Move the nozzle closer then. Oh, looking good. Yes. Ooh.
I think it's gonna. Well, now you can do a suck and drop it in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it'll come
Now
off the
finally
rock,
closing up.
it'll let go of the rock. That's the other thing.
Okay, let's, I'm going for a 75% suction.
Doesn't look like it's gonna let go of the rock very easily.
I can do it. I can get it off the rock. We call this the
A
smear.
slurp scrape.
Slurp and scrape.
Nice.
Oh.
I didn't.
Almost. It's almost off. It's just hanging on by a little.
Okay, I'm gonna give it full beans here.
Oh. go.
Now what am I going to do with it?
We're going to drop it in the box is what I'd say.
It has to go in the forward box because
Yeah,
our,
It's on the slurp.
and you're going to have to come off the rock, Robert, because we'll have to retract
Okay,
the porch.
yeah.
So which box in the
Okay.
front would you like this one in? Who to mix it with?
Probably
Coming
the-
off.
Do you
Probably
want
the
camera
right.
wide before you
Okay,
do that, or are you
with
happy
the-
to fly your
Whatever.
Gold coral?
I'm flying the upper cam now.
Roger. Okay, I can suck the porch in now?
Yep.
Porch coming in.
So this will go in forward omega.
Forward ohms, you mean?
Ohms.
Otherwise known to illiterate ROV pilots as the forward starboard box.
Forward starboard.
You want to do it midwater, or you want to come perch somewhere? It's
I'm,
up to you.
I'm okay. If you're okay.
I'm okay. Let me zoom out on my... You okay to zoom out on the upper camera there?
Yeah. Do what you want. I'm all right.
You'll have to, it's a beautiful shot, but you'll have to go wide on the camera
Yeah.
and show me
Go
the box.
wide.
Yeah.
What is this called, back row?
It's a mushroom soft coral,
Wide.
Anthomastus.
I'm going to retract the camera.
Roger, that's a good idea.
Oh, but it is number 6 if you're asking for number.
Number 6. Yeah, mushroom soft coral is what I was looking for. Thank you.
Sweet.
I call them dog toys because they look a lot like what my dogs leave as presents. Okay, Robert, you can open.
And then box open.
Yeah,
Pretty zippy.
yeah, it is. Yeah, let me slow it down. No, I can't do that because I got suction on. Coming at you.
Oh, please drop.
Oh, we'll get it off there. You think it's floaty?
I can drive
No,
up if
they're
it's-
usually
if it's-
pretty dense.
What's that?
I can drive up if it's going to start to float, you know.
Roger. Okay. I can give me a second. I can get some more angle on the tangle here. Okay, suction coming off. And I gotta.
Nice.
Oh,
Yep.
good. Yeah, beautiful. Yes.
I never know what to do with this smear. Is it a grab? Is it a slurp? I never know what to say here.
Nice job, y'all.
You're the logger, Leila. Make something up.
I know. I got to add something to the drop down.
That was a slurp and scrape followed by a.
All right, camera coming back.
Roger. Robert's probably got a term for that. He's got a term for everything.
All right.
We pick up sea urchins like that once in a while, too.
Yeah.
All right, we're 2.5 hours into the dive and halfway to waypoint 1.
Really?
It's good to have these reality checks. But it is some
All
of the
right.
first deeper surveying around here, right, Pat? So
Yeah.
you're interested in this area.
You ready for a ship move?
Come up. I'm coming up.
Bridge, nav. Can I have a ship move 30 meters, bearing 080, please? Thank you.
So I'm going to break the rules up here and look at my cell phone to get the password that Samantha sent me.
There's a
So I can log
siphonophore
back
by
into-
the
Oh, yeah.
camera.
Soap suds something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, this little tiny picture, I can't read it. How do I make that bigger?
So just catching up on comments and questions from viewers. We've got one about how long do these expeditions tend to last. This expedition is about 2.5 weeks long, but we do expeditions that are 10 days long. We do expeditions that are 3 or 4 weeks long. This is a little bit of a mix of everything on this expedition. We're actually only doing 3 days of ROV dives. So this is our first of 3 dives that we'll do here at the start.
How's your Norwegian? I don't know what it's doing now.
What's doing? What's doing?
It logged me out of the dive log, and I can't
Oh.
log back to mine if I relaunch it.
We've also got a comment about how fragile seeming some things are in the deep sea. And this viewer said it seems like they should be made tough, more tough like stone, considering they live in the deep sea. Pat, do you want to comment on how resilient soft corals are to be able to live in waters like this, or any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, what the organism, say a fan or whatever, faces here, there's no waves, so it's not like it's in shallow water. You just have the currents, which can be relatively strong, going one way or another. So you can get away with a lot less, strength to the skeleton or the organism down deep.
Is it beneficial for them to be more flexible and flowy to be able to catch particles floating through the water column?
Well, it depends. You know, we've seen a few like stony corals where they're fan-like, but they're rigid. You know, if you hit it with something, it'll break like it's made of rock basically with living tissue on it. And then others are flexible. The really giant, like in shallow water, Gorgonian fans that get a couple of meters across, those are all flexible. You don't find stony corals that size sticking out into the current, because they would just get broken sooner rather than later. You know, they'll tend to be like a table rather than a fan sticking out perpendicular from the reef. So everything adapts to the conditions that they're living in, and you have both hard and soft things in the deeper sea, but they're faced mostly with currents, not waves and surf and all that sort of thing.
Are they pretty much unaffected by storms like hurricanes and that sort of stuff? It's just way
you
too
wouldn't
deep.
have any effect from hurricane down here, like it doesn't exist. The only thing you could have, if you have a storm in shallow water, not shallow water, if you have say a typhoon in a place like Palau, you have gigantic waves breaking on the reef. It will break loose coral and other hard rock up shallow, and then with a slope like we're seeing here, that material would end up being sent down the slope as either individual rocks rolling down, or it could be as basically a landslide coming down the reef slope, and that can wipe out things to really deep water. We've seen that a few times here in Palau in the last couple of decades with a couple of super typhoons, Bofa in 2012, and then super typhoon Haiyan the next year in 2013, and they caused tremendous damage down the slope in the deeper water.
Unless Robert wants the other camera.
I don't care. I don't like the Thurber cam. It's too pokey.
Yeah. I put it up if we're trying to square up on some.
Yeah.
But I like it better when the back row says a little left, no up, no to the right.
You okay to keep the ship moving?
Yeah.
Bridge nav. Can we have another 30 meters 080, please? Thank you.
We also have a question about what you expect to see down here versus what you wouldn't expect to see. I assume everything we've seen so far is what you would expect to see, Pat. Has anything surprised you, or would anything surprise you? I'm sure plenty of things would.
Well, I mean, you never know what you're going to find. You may have, preconceived ideas, and based on, prior experience, say you've done submersible dives or other ROV dives in similar areas, yeah, you might see some of the same sort of things, but then there's always some surprise that you never really thought could be down here. So, yeah, you quite often you're surprised, but then a lot of times, it's kind of, well, okay, I thought I'd see that, and there it is, and it's wonderful, but no big surprise. This is the thing, the more exploration you do into areas like these, the more familiar you become with them. You can characterize the organisms that make up the particular habitats that you're finding on these deep slopes, and so you get a general picture of what's normal, and then if anything is out of the ordinary for whatever reason, you'll know it. Now, looking ahead a little bit, tomorrow we're going to be moving to Angkor Island, which is an oceanic island in Palau. It's about 30 miles away from where we are right now. It's very different from what we're seeing here, where Angkor has it's an island. It has shallow water reefs, and then it has very steep slopes on its outer edge, and a lot of those slopes over geologic time have broken away. You'll have large areas of the reef which basically cleave off or separate from the shallow water reef, and those go tumbling down the slope as gigantic boulders, bigger than houses, and they end up in deep water. And we're going to investigate hopefully some of those features, these gigantic reef failure boulders that go down the slope. And so I think we're going to see some very different things there. I've never been down to one of these, and so I think we're going to be surprised with the next dive.
That's exciting.
And that does sound exciting.
I will make one prediction that we have a 50% chance of seeing a living chambered nautilus on the next dive.
Fingers crossed.
And I say 50% because then nobody will get mad at me if we don't see it. But this is the habitat.
Nice even odds there.
Yeah, exactly. This is the habitat where chambered
reason.
nautilus live in Palau on steep slopes and coming off of islands and shallow reefs. And so, based on that, experience, I think, we've got a good chance we're going to see some.
And what's the depth range of the chambered nautilus?
Well, about, they like cool water. They can't tolerate the really warm surface water, which is, 28 to 30 degrees centigrade, or about 80 to 88 degrees, something like that, in Fahrenheit. They like water that's 25 degrees centigrade or less, so that's for the Fahrenheit people, that's about 76 degrees. And that you'll only find that here in Palau down deeper. So they start showing up about 120 meters, which is 400 feet, down to at least 1,000 feet or 300 meters. So, but we're going to be transiting that depth range, and so, just a little teaser if you guys want to tune in again tomorrow. Be morning here in Palau, and you might see living nautilus on the reef slope.
Have you ever seen one, Pat?
Yes, I've seen actually quite a number of them. We've done some submarine work, some other ROV work, and we have seen them from vehicles or via ROVs. Look at the ripples over there on the left side. That's interesting.
Yeah, Robert's headed over there. We picked that up in our multi-beam down-looking sonar.
So anyway, I think there's a good chance we will see them. If we do encounter them, they're not shy. They don't really swim very well, and they kind of will show off for the video cameras, I hope.
Wow.
That'd be sweet.
So we should hopefully get some good footage, but it's the ocean, no guarantees.
Our temperature at this depth is just under 7 degrees Celsius, 6.7.
I was reading about their buoyancy control. They can move ions, like, so they have lower density seawater. They move the,
Right.
yeah.
They have chambers inside the shell. Yeah.
So they have an air bladder, and they can change the seawater density. So it's
There was some
ions.
Yeah, because they're a hard shell. Even if they have gas in there, if like a fish has a swim bladder, which can be compressed or expands depending on the depth the fish is at, because it's exposed to the pressure. When you have a hard shell like a chambered nautilus, it's like a pressure vessel, and so the volume doesn't change with changing external
they move the
pressure.
gas in their bloodstream and fill up that.
So they can move up and down very easily.
But slowly, because
they are jet propelled, so to speak.
but they don't change depth very quickly, because
No.
So we've been seeing a lot of this coral. Are we waiting on the ship right now?
Okay.
Is that a primnoid? Kind of looks like it, but
yeah, what you had guessed last time. It looked so.
We
The
zoom in?
polyps looked so black corally though. I'm very curious, but it is a primnoid shape. It's like looks
Yeah.
like Narella in shape.
yeah, it could be
Just
anything.
gonna jump in for a minute.
This one
in the
actually looks
back row,
different from that's different from what we saw before.
Yeah.
What is this? No,
Front
you're
rows.
right. That does look primnoid. Yeah.
Front row's signing off. We're gonna hand it over to the A-team here.
Does look primnoid. Yeah. It's such a dark primnoid. I'm used to seeing them so nice and light and white.
Yeah, I would guess it's not a primnoid myself, but
Really, what do you think it is?
I
No, I
Sorry,
would like to record your best guess.
okay. I used to do deep water collecting with mixed gas, and you'd see a primnoid. Quite often we'd use our bare hands. You never wanted to grab a primnoid in your bare hand. It's like
They're hard.
grabbing barbed wire.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't look like barbed wire primnoid to me. But,
Yeah.
we'd have to collect it, but we're not going to do that. We'll leave it. But could be.
All right, are you ready to come wide?
Hey.
All right. So we're just moving along, going up slope.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, those ripples are interesting. They look like they're cross slope. And, ripples are produced by currents. And, so it implies here that you have a current moving along the slope, not up or down. And
It's definitely doing that right now. Gotta work against it with the vehicle.
let's see. Is that that same sponge over there, upper left? We get a quick zoom on that, maybe just to ascertain whether is it or not.
Dave, you can go for a quick snap zoom there.
Oh yeah, same thing. Okay, great.
All right,
Yeah, thank you. That was at
come back up.
590 meters.
Ready.
I think, Pat, that this is the one we've been seeing. This
Oh yeah, it looks good, yeah.
Yep.
Tell us.
Calyptrophora, or some
I don't know
variation.
if we have that in our list here.
Here, yeah, this dark primnoid over here. I saw the polyp sticking out at that sort of right angle to the branch,
Uh-huh.
which was the only thing to me that gave me that guess was that, yeah. And this is a shallower water one from, I think, the Marianas region.
Yeah, so we had this one here too. Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah, good. So I'm just seeing if Lori's over there. There's our sponge again.
Yeah, go ahead, lounge.
It's interesting, there were those rocky outcroppings earlier, and now we're back over to mostly sediment covered sediment, although very coarse again.
You know, this is really coarse sediment that we're seeing here. It's really interesting because if you go like along the main reefs of Palau,
Yep.
the sediment coming down the
we've
slope is very
gone-
fine.
How far have we gone? About 300
Never seen
meters.
anything like this where you've got
If we can
these
get
really
to waypoint 1
coarse
in
materials.
30 minutes.
And so
I
when
think we can do
can
it.
look at the sample that
Let's
was
do
sucked
it.
up here earlier,
Point 3.
I suspect we may find that most of this material
Okay.
is a sort of
We'll put it in another
little
boat.
tiny hermitipic corals and
Bridge
small
nav.
mollusks that are living up on the top of the ridge. But there's nothing really
Can we
producing.
have
no
30 meters,
calcareous
080?
algae or coralline algae or things that produce really super fine sediment.
Thank you.
So it's a very different sediment environment, what's coming down the slope from the ridge and versus a shallow reef.
Okay, yep. We've been getting real excited about things to sample, but right here it looks a little more sparse.
Yeah, we've got a chance to catch up.
Yeah. Turn on the afterburner.
I also think this is a really good opportunity to go around and do a round of introductions since we have a couple new folks in the van. So if we could start with the back row, that would be great. So my name is Alice. Hi, everyone. And I'm the Science Communication Fellow. And I am based in Boston, Massachusetts. And I am here for my first dive ever. And I'm really excited.
Woohoo.
Hi, my name's Charlie Brooks. I'm here with the Scripps team on board doing engineering support for some of the vehicles we have here. And this is my first ROV dive in about 6 years. Last time was a Jason dive in New Zealand.
Yeah, and I'm Pat Colin. I've been talking for the last few hours, unfortunately, but I'm having a great time here. This is just, the minutes and hours are just flowing past. It's just wonderful. And it's been a great dive. And
I am Leela Bellucci. I'm sitting in the data logger seat, and I'm science manager on this expedition. And I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I don't know, we were saying things about where we're from.
I probably should have given everyone a list, including a fun facts, but I don't think that is equally appreciated across everyone. So I think name and what role you're playing tonight is perfect.
Great.
Yeah. Dave?
Dave Robertson, lead video engineer on this expedition, and sitting here making cameras look good and zooming in when Jake tells me to. Right.
Oh, sorry. I always forget. Hey, my name is Rai, and I'm sitting in the Atalanta seat. Next to Rai, this is Jake Bonney. I am driving the bus right now.
Hey, I'm Jimena Rosa. I'm from Panama, and I'm a navigator trainee.
Hey everybody, I'm Lynette. I am the navigator on this beautiful dive.
Thank you, everyone.
so we're about 570 meters at the moment.
Yep,
It's kind
go
of been
for
a,
it.
oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, we were just talking about ship move.
You go ahead, Pat.
So we're 570 meters. It's been, we've started going through a transition. We've transitioned from this sediment slope environment. Now we're getting into a bit of hard rock and what looks like talus, which are pieces of material that have come down the slope, you know, different size rocks. It could be a steeper slope where we are right now. In fact, I guess they're sort of transitioning into a steeper slope according to the bathymetrics we've got here.
Oh, we got some corals.
Always the moment I ask for a faster ship move.
That's okay.
Yeah, no,
We're just flyby scanning them. Looks like
Yeah,
some
we've seen-
chrysogorgids like before that we collected.
Yep.
The primnoid, Victorgorgia. These are a bit more planar chrysogorgids. It looks like the gold corals are. If that's
cool.
what they are, can't tell from this far, honestly.
That is seems to be a big giant block of rock that's come down the slope.
Will the composition of that particular rock be different than what it's sitting on?
Possibly. You know, the ridge, we know very little about it geologically. We assume that it's a volcanic basalt ridge formed from submarine volcanic eruptions. So, interestingly enough, yeah, if you go back not terribly far or terribly long ago in geologic history, you know, sea level was about 120 meters lower than it is today. So the top of the ridge is at 180 meters. So back 20,000 years ago, the top of this ridge was actually only about 60 meters deep, which is, you know, it's shallow enough for coral reefs that require light to grow. And so that what we may be seeing here, there may well be a sort of a fossil layer of coral rock on top of the ridge. And these are pieces of it that have broken loose over time and come down the slope. So Maybe depends how time goes. When we get up a bit shallower, we might want to grab a few of these small rocks just to see if they're calcium carbonate reef material or if they're volcanic rock material. But we're the dives are never long enough.
Yeah.
We're approaching 550 meters.
In these talus areas too, it can be so surprising. You'll pick up two rocks directly next to one another, and one of them is calcareous, and the other one's totally different.
Yes.
A fish?
Oh yeah, is that a fish?
Yeah, it looks like a scorpion fish.
Scorpion fish.
Yeah.
Next to a gold coral.
Yeah.
Oh, what's on the ground? Is that
We
a
don't need to zoom in on it.
hermit
It's,
crab?
it's a fairly common species, I think.
There's a pom-pom anemone. I haven't seen one of those yet.
That's interesting. You've got these, kind of smaller pieces of talus like you see on the lower left, and then you've got these giant, they're pretty darn large boulders that have come down the slope too. There's sort of nothing in between those sizes. They're giant or small.
Another one of those stony sponges.
Cucumber.
Sea cucumber.
What's that right there? That
On
we're
the
passing
right?
over, yeah.
Looks like a crinoid.
Crinoid.
Do you want me to pan around to look at you, or
That's
hold
all right.
on?
You can, for these fast moves, you can keep it there, so it keep me in the box.
Squat lobster.
Oop,
There's a lot of
another one.
them.
Oh, yeah.
That one's pretty big. Can we zoom on that squat lobster as we fly by? Is that possible?
Yeah, oh yeah.
On the right?
Which one is it?
Sorry, I'm too far
Oh, I
from the
see it.
telestrator.
I
It's
see it.
there. We suddenly saw like 6 of those in a row
Push in
just
there for
now,
a zoom.
after seeing none all dive.
Yeah, it's good to get a zoom.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello.
Oh.
So these squat lobsters, we don't, you know, we're like, oh, another squat lobster, but oftentimes they're not well recorded in this region of the world, so it's just good to get some imagery.
Yep.
That's good, thanks.
Good there? Nice. Right.
Do they
Well, I think
usually congregate in groups like this?
No, no. I mean, that's like a bunch in a row that we just saw, which is kind of interesting. They're oftentimes associated with corals or sponges, and then there are some species that are more typically unassociated with anything. Yeah. I don't know if that was not chirostyle. I don't know if it was a unidopsid or galathioid, one of the two.
How would you distinguish the two?
But the way that it is, no, one's kind of like more elongated and oftentimes spiky, pinky frequently. You know, there are variations in this. And then the other, that might be the munidid one. Those are usually more orange. They have bigger bodies. They're less spiky. Yeah. And you can also tell by whether or not it's associated. Usually the chirostylids are associated with a coral or a sponge.
If you were to be one of those two types of squat lobster, which one would you be?
Oh man, they all back it up, which makes them all amazing. They just, it is so funny to watch a squat lobster run away. The chirostylids are nice. They have their protected coral or sponge home, and then if they get scared by someone like us, then they're like, ah! They back it on up. That's a cool, I don't know what that is, a coral in the middle next to the white sponge on the right.
Oh yeah.
These are new sponges. We haven't seen those yet this dive. Or that stalked crinoid that's up above. Oh, that looks like a stalked crinoid too. Those are all stalked crinoids. Interesting, with like kind of fun stuff going on the stalk itself.
It looks like there's a squat lobster inside.
Yeah, there is
as well.
Do not let any of this slow you down, Jake. I am just pointing stuff out as we go. We've got beautiful yellow stalked crinoids up on top. I have to remember what group those are in. They're very identifiable.
All right, come wide there, Dave.
Hyocrinid. I think they're hyocrinidae, those yellow ones.
Ready for a ship move. Ready for a ship move when you're... Yep, 085.
Bridge nav. Can we do a ship move 30 meters bearing 085? Thanks.
Oh, you're dragging me around now. Come back.
we zoom on this coral as we pass by?
Yep. Yeah, we got some time. All right, you can go in there, Dave.
Yeah, that's good, thanks. Looks maybe paramarcid.
Good, come on.
I'm good, thanks.
Just wanted to say a quick hello to our viewers right now, coming from Germany, Philippines, South Africa, Ukraine, Turkey, and a bunch of other places around the world. We're so excited to have you here with us.
Yeah, that's a good spread. Thanks for joining. We did spend a lot of time between that 700 and 500 mark, but we got really familiar with that community, and this one is distinctly different, actually, up here. That urchin, we haven't seen an urchin like that the whole time yet.
I wasn't here earlier for the deeper depths. What did you see down there?
We saw the occasional pencil urchin. We saw like a few stock crinoids. We collected one, but these stock crinoids here are very different. Yeah, we didn't see any of these urchins. We saw some primnoid corals, some black corals deeper down earlier. We saw some Victor Gorgia purple coral. Yeah, now, but we've had clusters here of very different things. That's good, thank you.
All right, come on.
Jake, do you want to keep these steps moving or catch up?
Yeah, we can keep them moving. It sounded like...
Yeah, we don't have any of the main chief size back here right now, but I think we're good to keep moving with how sparse it is over here.
Leela,
like
we got a question from Lori.
Oh, Lori's here. Oh, hi, Lori. I didn't see that you were there. Hi, yeah, please go on SPL and speak. Is it a question just for me? You can talk to data. If you press down on data, then I can hear you.
Bridge nav. Helps if I call the bridge. Bridge nav. We can do another step, 30 meters, 085. Thanks.
And also any identifications, always welcome, Lori. Are you good with this, Lori, with the current community? Just kind of zooming on things as we pass by that are of interest, but making progress? Okay, good. Can we zoom on that pink coral real quick?
Sure thing.
It might be a precious coral, would be the first one we've seen all dive.
It's precious to us.
Precious to us either way. Yeah, that looks to me like hemicorallium. Lori, I don't know if you think otherwise. Thank you, that's good.
All right.
What distinguishes precious corals from other corals?
I'll let Lori add in or chime in, but my understanding is that, you know, they have been collected for their pretty pink color and used in jewelry and things like that, and in that way were of value. But Lori, do you have any other understanding of where that name comes from?
Yeah, because they're called precious because they were used in jewelry and still are today. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that they're also regulated as CITES, they're CITES regulated species. So we're not going to be collecting those on this dive. We're seeing a lot of these pencil urchins again.
Fish there.
Oh.
Push in there, Dave.
That's so iridescent.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It looks like a rat tail, but it's like the most iridescent one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Can we do a quick zoom on that right in front of us? I think that's just another stalked crinoid.
Push in there.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I was not on them. Does anyone recall seeing us sea lilies quite like that? They're icelocrinids. Did anyone call out icelocrinids on previous cruises that you remember?
I don't remember those, no. I did not see those.
I mostly just remember them being stalked crinoids on them, but
Are the stalked crinoids entirely sessile, unlike their counterparts?
Yes, these are sessile. The unstalked ones, of course, can move around and sometimes swim very energetically.
Bridge note. Can add another 30 meters, 085.
What's that on the bottom left? Is that a fish?
On the upper screen? Are you looking at the upper camera?
no. It's about the middle of your screen.
Let me get, it was like,
Middle left.
it was like under there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fish or something.
You can push in there.
Ooh.
Oh, looks like a boarfish, maybe?
Cool.
Hi.
Lori, do you recognize it? No. I'm not either, but I saw these funny shaped ones and looked them up earlier, and I think they were boarfish. I can't remember. Swimming at a weird little angle there. Really pretty mottled pattern.
Very delicate fins as well.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I really love the dorsal and anal fins and how, I don't know, it reminds
That
me of
sea pen, you see that on the left camera too?
Yep.
I don't know what that is. It's huge. Oh yeah, there. Pentatulid sea pen maybe? All right, thank you.
Okay.
These sponges are also new. We weren't seeing those below 500. Sponge. Do you want one of the stony sponges again, maybe? Is that a question from Lori? Do you want to zoom on it quick? Sponge that went just out of frame.
You can push it in there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's interesting. Does it look like it could be one of those harder ones
Yeah.
again? Yeah. The lithistid, what were they called?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably one of the known species, but I think just get good imaging of it. We should move upward and onward.
Okay.
Thanks for the zoom.
Another one of those urchins.
Hello folks, this is a question from the data lab. I was wondering if you were still having trouble focusing the digital stills camera.
I'm not looking at you. Never mind.
You want to have an answer for that? Asking about the digital stills camera? Focus issues?
Okay, I was going to say something I was working on the Triclops system last cruise. What we found is that especially in autofocus, it would drive the lens to these really long, like 20 meters out or something. And so I found if I rehome it to the minimum focus distance, and then so if you pull it all the way back in, and then start to step out, then because realistically, like it only needs to focus within a range of say 0 to 5 meters, and most of the time, a smaller range than that. So that really helped us with the Triclops troubleshooting last cruise.
Can we zoom in on that anemone?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. That's lovely.
All right, can push in there.
Wow.
But check.
Yeah, let's just get some beauty shot of that and then move on, I guess.
Yep. Got it. Looks like an actinostoiloidea.
All right.
Great.
Come on.
Let's see, that's 450 meters. Pretty sparse in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of dropped off once we got. There are patches that have a bit, and that it's all interesting and different from what we saw before, but the rest of it's been pretty sparse.
See, looking at the topography here, the bathymetrics, we should be getting a steeper slope soon, headed toward waypoint 2.
It will, of course, get really interesting just as I'm about to go off watch.
Yeah.